With Xbox and PC Game Pass, you get access to so many amazing titles that your new favourite game could just be hiding in plain sight. So, allow us to talk you through a few critically acclaimed, undeniably excellent Game Pass titles that you might not even be aware of. For the latest on what games are coming to Game Pass and when, be sure to hit the subscribe button, but in the meantime, here's a game that will make you feel perhaps the coolest you've ever felt.
We'll start things off with a bang in the form of Midnight Fight Express. This isometric beat-em-up is the perfect game to recreate all your grisliest John Wick fantasies in. The game's fluid combat system allows you to slip seamlessly between brutal melee moves and rapid gunplay to take out whole rooms of bad guys in the blink of an eye. With the skill tree that continually adds new moves to your arsenal and a constant supply of highly weaponizable objects at hand, every encounter feels fresh. And besides, no matter how many times you do it, lobbing a sledgehammer across the room at someone simply does not get old. But we all know that you're actually supposed to solve our problems with words rather than flying elbow smashes. So it's a good thing we have games like Pentiment, which make that super fun too.
In this medieval murder mystery, you'll be tasked with interviewing the residents of a Bavarian village to find out who done it. If you're a fan of other Obsidian games like Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, then it will come as no surprise to you that the writing in this narrative adventure is also top-notch. Everyone you meet has something interesting to say, and all of it contributes to a thought-provoking tale about stories themselves. Souls-like fans will love Tunic's eerie environmental storytelling, kinetic combat, and bonfire-like respawn system. In fact, we even featured it in our Souls-likes video recently. Go check that one out. But while certain elements will be familiar, this action-adventure game is also filled with mysteries. By collecting pages of a beautifully retro game manual, such a throwback, you'll be able to uncover some of its secrets. Although all the writing in Tunic is in a strange runic alphabet, so you'll have to work most things out for yourself.
Plus, its cuddly, colourful world looks so gorgeous in 4K on the Xbox Series X that you'll have a great time wandering around, even if you have no clue what's going on. But figuring out your bearings and navigating this rich world is one of the most rewarding experiences in gaming. Do you ever get the feeling that a lot of these super dramatic video game stories could have been avoided if everyone involved was able to sit down over a nice cup of something hot and caffeinated? Well, then you're in luck, because that's what the Coffee Talk games are all about. Both episodes of this conversation simulating series take place within a fantastical version of Seattle where orcs, elves, and vampires abound. But they aren't involved in eternal war for the fate of the world or anything like that. They're just doing regular stuff like working graphic design jobs and trying to figure out why relationships are so hard. Serve up delicious looking beverages and enjoy the game's relentlessly chill soundtrack while you learn all about each customer's life.
Oh, it just all sounds lovely. I mean, why wouldn't you want to spend your afternoon hanging out with socially awkward banshees or a kind-hearted werewolf? As Dusk Falls is a narrative adventure in which all your choices will catch up to you, one way or another. If you loved the high-pressure decision-making and twisting tales of games like Life is Strange or the Dark Pictures anthology, you're going to feel right at home here. The story begins with a family road trip that takes a turn for the worse when they find themselves at the centre of an armed robbery. Yeah, we've all been there. But from there, you'll get to see how the decisions made in an instant can ripple out across multiple lives and even over generations. It's cinematic, it's dramatic, and leads to gut-wrenching conclusions.
But if you don't want to take total responsibility for how things go down, As Dusk Falls supports multiplayer for up to 8 people where you all get to vote on each decision, even if they don't have an Xbox controller. And then you can all feel bad together. Citizen Sleeper is a tabletop-inspired RPG in which you play as a human mind trapped inside a robot body, trying to get by on the outer edge of the galaxy. Each day you'll have a certain amount of time and a certain number of dice rolls to spend on earning money with part-time jobs, fostering new relationships with the game's lively cast of characters, or pushing the main story forward. But as fans of the Persona series will already know, there never seems to be enough time in the day to do everything you want.
Oh, but on the other hand, when the game is as enticing as Citizen Sleeper, you're probably not going to mind playing it all over again just to see what you missed. Are you brave enough to find out what's lurking in the shadows of the darkest dungeon? Because the answer is sometimes treasure, but to be honest, it's also often monsters. In this sinister RPG, you'll need to assemble a gang of heroes to explore a procedurally generated dungeon with. Fortunately, the local tavern is always brimming with heroes for hire, each with their own unique abilities that you can take advantage of during the game's turn-based battles. The kicker here is that it's not just the physical threat of being torn asunder that you must deal with while you and your team are exploring the dungeon, because if the pressure gets to any of them, they can snap in a variety of different ways, none of which are very pretty.
So keep an eye on your party and maybe do the odd breathing exercise while you're down there, and if you've still got the stomach for more afterwards, Darkest Dungeon 2 is available now on PC with a console version in the works. And to hear the latest about that and all the other Xbox news, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. If you're a point and click enthusiast who has grown a little tired of solving locked room murders and missing person cases, why not aim a little higher and try to unravel the mystery of the universe itself? Genesis Noir begins with a bang. Big bang to be precise. Except in this telling, the bang comes from the end of a pistol being pointed at a voluptuous jazz singer by a godly being known as Golden Boy. It's up to you to find a way to point this strange story towards a happier ending, even if that means traveling the length of the cosmos or chucking the whole thing into a black hole.
Right, I think I get it. It does sound all a bit pretty confusing, but once you've fallen under the spell of Genesis Noir's smooth noirish soundtrack and sleek monochrome visuals, we can pretty much guarantee that you won't care. Sometimes the name of a game really tells you everything that you need to know. Disc Room is an action puzzle game in which you'll be placed into a room full of, discs. If you can survive long enough, you can unlock new rooms filled with yet more discs. Really couldn't be simpler. But you know what? Beneath that surface simplicity, you'll find all sorts of devilish nuances. Discs that move in different ways and new abilities to help you outmaneuver them, all of which become new dance steps in an elegant buzzsawy ballet that you're dancing. It truly nails the, okay, just one more game kind of loop that will keep you up into the small hours as you try to navigate your way through this dangerous labyrinth. So, if you like discs and rooms full of discs, check out Disc Room.
Last up, we've got an adventurous RPG that takes place in a lush pixel art world, Eastward. John is a surly miner who believes in smashing stuff with his frying pan first and asking questions later. Sam is a mysterious white-haired girl with a bubbly vibe and an impressive array of psychic powers. Swapping freely between them, you'll be able to solve puzzles, dazzle NPCs, and smack down any enemies that happen to come your way. Eastward is a game that's overflowing with personality and filled to the brim with fun stuff to do. Whether that means pushing on through its surprisingly moving story, learning more about the other characters you meet, or finding new recipes to cook. There's even a whole JRPG style game within a game that you can play at various points.
Sounds to me like if you dig down into this unique RPG adventure, you are sure to strike something valuable. Of course, everyone has their own cult favourites, so be sure to hit the comments to tell us all about your own favourite finds from the Xbox Game Pass library. Bye!